It's been a long road, so I mean, I think the only goals I would miss is outside influence. You know,
Right.
is being like, you know, because it's a hard lifestyle to do this, and it hurts to train. You know, so it's
Right.
like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it correctly. You know, so you know, I'd be hanging out, and the year before, my New Year's resolution was to party and have as much fun as possible. So I was partying up, having fun, drinking, got myself to 258 pounds, and then my next New Year's resolution was I'm gonna get in the gym, train, and have my first fight. So my party scene and my party friends, you know, they still loved me and stuff, but they were like,
Right.
"Hey man, come out and drink," and I was like, "Okay, I can drink," and then I would go out on the weekend and drink. So I think my goals got obscured with that a little bit, is because I'd be at weight one time, I'd be like, "Oh, I lost 10 pounds," and I'd be like, "Oh, I went out and got drunk, and then I gained 5," and then
Yeah.
you know, it was that, and then my whole, you know, I had to change my whole lifestyle, my whole direction of life, and I've learned a lot through this past year. It's one of the biggest ones. I mean, had a couple, had, you know, my fight, got arrested for that, and then unfortunately, you know, I got in a big car accident and crashed my brand new Dodge Charger, like totaled it out on the freeway.
Oh goodness.
So, and unfortunately on that, like, I don't remember anything and stuff, so I had to just like kind of sit back and just evaluate what I was doing, evaluate the party scene, evaluate things, and
Right.
everything's good. It's good to party, it's good to train, it's good to, but you gotta do everything in moderation, you know.
Right.
You know, and like drinking and driving and certain things like that, like you just gotta watch and do stuff. So ever since I crashed my car, I got out of there, and then just started kind of training my life. I lost my license for a while, and I had to walk to Excel and walk to the gym and take a bicycle to it.
That'll teach a little discipline for
So
sure.
I definitely got disciplined, got humbled, and evaluated my life. I started a charity program, so I wasn't gonna do anything for last Christmas, and ended up throwing this big, because I knew how to throw parties, so I threw this big party, came up with this idea, let's throw a charity organization and toy drive party. So I ended up raising $6,000 worth of toys, you know, during last Christmas, and started donating that. So it's just kind of like a whole new direction to change.
Yeah,
my
talk
life.
to me about you got a couple projects that you're doing right now. So let's talk about those real quick.
Yeah, so I started with that. Wanted a charity organization. I got with some of my buddies. They were starting a music group called TNG. Stands for the New Generation. And we've known these guys. I've known these guys since high school. So we kind of started. So they were like, started hanging out with them. They brought me on board with them, and they were just passionate. We're all passionate guys, just about life in general and trying to be entrepreneurs and be successful.
Right.
So after the parties and stuff, though, I threw, you know, the TNG, like a TNG toy drive party, you know, and so we raised $6,000 in toys, and then we ended up, and this is just all off, just off of good faith, you know. I ended up at 2 elementary schools, ran 2, donated to them. I went to, and then I took off 4, I think it was 35 kids off of Facebook alone, like just off of just networking.
Right.
Like I put out a post and I was like, hey, if anybody needs help this Christmas, email me, inquiries and stuff. So I started listing through that, ended up helping 30 kids, ended up total of like 85 kids.
And this is still an active charity, correct?
Yeah, definitely. We call it TNG Cares.
Is there a Facebook or website or anything like that?
TNG Cares. Yeah, so we have our Facebook, Facebook TNG, Facebook TNG Cares. We have our website.
We'll make sure we put that up on the podcast as well.
Yep, and then so we're working on that, and the same thing for my birthday. We did Valentine Teddy Bears Drive, so I raised like 450 teddy bears, went to cancer organizations and a whole bunch of different things. You know, I figure if you could bring 20 or more people in a room together, like I like to make something up, bring a canned food, bring a teddy bear, bring something, and all you 20 people take that and then donate it to somewhere. Like, you know, so that's how I started theming all my parties. You know, so it's kind of just something, you know, fun. We have I'm teaming up with a couple friends and Town Center Lounge. We're gonna do a big big toy drive there coming up December 14th, so it's going to be another
Very
one.
nice.
And then also, I want to start an MMA apparel line called Legalized Violence. So.
I like the contrast of the two things. So you got the toy stuff,
I was trying to
giving
make
teddy
better,
bears, and then the apparel is legalized violence.
Yeah. Well,
This sounds like what you're doing is that the charity is a front for some terrible scheme.
Yeah,
that's what
people,
you made it sound like.
That's what people think, but
you should switch the names.
That'd
be perfect. The legalized violence is for the charity.
Yep.
And then the TNG is for the actual fighting stuff.
The music, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, because I wanted to. My whole aspect is with legalized violence is keep the peace in the streets and the save your rage for the cage.
And so, what's your plan? If you have a plan for this, You said you set a lot of small goals, but do you have a plan for your fight future as far as amateur, as far as pro?
Yeah, my goal was. Because like that, like a lot of people was asking me as well. Like I started this because I want to be real about the situation as well. Like of course, like I want to be like, oh, I want to be a UFC champion,
right?
So but also I don't want to just sit around and say that because a lot of people sound cocky when they say that. But my first goal was I'll be accomplishing a lot of my goals and dreams just by stepping into their cage for the first time.
Right.
So just by stepping into the cage first time, I'll accomplish my major goal that I set, and then I'll reevaluate the situation and see how I love fighting in front of all my friends, family, in front of fans, in the lights, the cameras, see how I like that. And knowing myself, I'll probably end up loving it.
Right.
So then I'll continue my training, and if I continue my training, I'm going to take it extremely serious, live the lifestyle, and try to be the best pro or best amateur, best person I could be. Because half-assing it in this world is not good.
Well, given that you started at 258 or something like that, it doesn't seem like you're half-assing.
Oh no, definitely not. But it's a hard lifestyle.
Well, that's why
everything I eat, drink, sleep, wake up. I mean, I work at Aria Casino as a plumbing engineer, so I get there by 7 o'clock. I get off at 3. At 4, I'm at the gym. It's all the way across town. And by the time I'm home, I'm not home until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night every night. And then funds are low, so I'm washing my clothes that I just wore, to get ready for tomorrow. And then so it's like. I don't go to bed until 10:30, 11 o'clock every night, and it's like it's constant. Going.
That's why
it's a hard lifestyle.
That's why we call this on the site fight grind.
Yep, definitely.
Grind is the perfect word for it.
If you ain't grinding though,
I love to ask all the fighters this: is the physical or mental / emotional the harder part for you? Because obviously your body's getting knocked a lot. Yeah, and a lot of people know that one because you have scars, you get you get bruises, but the mental and emotional.
People at work be like, some people don't know how to fight. They'll be like, why do you have a black eye? I'll be like, oh, I trained, but okay, that's cool. But I would say probably physical is what I'm more worried about, just because as an amateur you don't get paid for anything. It's hard to get sponsorships and stuff, So I still got a career. I got a career working with my hands. I got to walk around. So it's being physical, always thinking about not getting hurt and stuff like that. Mental, I've noticed that right before like some of my jiu-jitsu matches, one thing good I did the jiu-jitsu matches first, so I kind of learned how to fight people that I'd never seen before, and learn how to be in front of people. And so the mental thing, like I've already checked that, because I remember before, like I'd just go blank. I'd have this whole game plan set up, and then the match would be to start, and I'd be blank. I'd be like, man, how do you do a triangle again? I'm still new at this, so I'd be like, man. But then once I get a hold of the person, and once my adrenaline goes, it just all comes back, So I've learned to like just settle down mentally, not overthink things. And just
but the weight of having the full-time job and doing the fight, and you do the charity stuff, you're trying to start your own thing. Does that ever are there just days you take where you don't focus on anything? You just lay in a pillow?
Yeah, there's some days that I'll just crash out, or like people call me and stuff. I don't answer my phone. They'll be like, what happened? I'll be like, coach would make sure, because if he doesn't see me in the gym one day, he'd be like, hey, everything cool? I'd be like, yeah, man, I just kind of had that.
Just had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I'll just be, especially too, changing my lifestyle so dramatically. Like I was, I partied all the time and had fun. Like last year's New Year's resolution was party up, so we were partying all the time. And then this one is a completely different lifestyle. That takes so much dedication, so it's hard, because there is no outlet, so outlets in the gym or on the mat, so sometimes I get stressed out and I'll be like, I'll check myself. I'll be like, dude, I'm having an attitude. I'll just like, I'm going to bed. And I'll legitimately, it was like a month ago, I put myself nap. You need to go to sleep.
I had that.
And it was like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, I went to bed for the rest of the night, didn't wake up till the next morning.
I had that problem in training a few times back when I used to train. Was that there were days where I had to like put myself in timeout, or because you're just all of a sudden you're pissy. You're like a 14-year-old girl who didn't get the thing.
Especially when you're on diet too, and it's like, man, I've ate so many salads. It's like, I ate like 32 salads this week or something like that. I eat salads 3 times a day and this and that. And it's like, I don't want to eat. I've put so many different things on salads that.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to tell me, man.
I'm just like, man.
Yeah, I got tired of salads and mustard. Mustard, I'm sick of. I don't ever eat mustard anymore because I had to go months of just mustard as the only seasoning.
Yep, mustard on the tuna, just right out of the can.
I'm gonna have a little flashback on that one. But when you do weight cuts? How difficult is that for you? You don't have to say where you're cutting from, but when you're doing them, is it intensive? Are they rough, or are you able, other than just the annoyance of the salads and mustard?
Yeah, one thing good about it is, like I took my jiu-jitsu matches serious, and I kind of played those as like fake fights. You know what I mean? Like so like I would say if I was at one weight class, I would be like, oh, I'll cut to this weight class, or if I was at this, so I already practiced those kind of weight cuts and kind of felt. Like they'd be like, "Why are you weight cutting for jiu-jitsu?" I was like, because I'm planning to be an MMA fighter, so I want to feel how it is to be dehydrated, because it's a complete different thing is being dehydrated and then turning around and having to fight, And so it's one day you feel like crap and then you rehydrate yourself, and then the next day you have to go show out and tap somebody out. You know what I mean?
Right. I always saw the weight cut as a personal challenge, like just another challenge to take. And so I enjoyed it.
It's a lot of mental too. I mean, it physically hurts, but you got to mentally check out and just be like, this is what I'm gonna do.
That's a good way to put it, is check out, because that's tended to be. I would just not think about how much it sucked, as opposed to making it positive. A lot of people talk about trying to make it a positive experience. It's not positive.
And people be like, "Oh, I'm meditating this," and I'd be like, "I don't know, man. I kind of just check out and just go with emotion, and if I step on a scale and it's that, and I'll have certain things set up for after weigh-in, to rehydrate, and have my, I did it one way one time, I did it another way, another time I did it another way, so I've kind of like evaluated which works for me and what I like to have, and I'm always open for suggestions. That's the main thing I ask a lot of people, like, I'm like, hey, how do you weight cut? Because I'll see people's weight, and they'll be like, I need to cut 18 pounds. I'm like, huh? I'm like, how do you do it? I'm like, oh, I do it like this, and everybody's got their own little way of.
My number one way is move to Nicaragua. You will lose weight, especially for their summer months, which is between April and June. That's when you want to go to Nicaragua. You just find a little shack to live in.
Yep, and you just train there. Right?
Make sure it's in Managua, because that's the desert area. And just train there, and you won't even. You'll go an extra 3 weight classes.
Most people will lose a couple pounds a night when they sleep. You lost like 10.
Oh yeah, I was losing weight constantly. I think I talked to Shane Shapiro about this when he was on. Is that I would drink like a gallon of water a day easily and still be cutting essentially, because it was sweating 24/7. Because you're close enough to the equator, it doesn't really get cooler at night. Yeah. It's the same temperature, I would say 20 hours out of the day. Yeah. So you're really you're just sweating, and it became weird when I came back here, which is a dry climate. Yeah. It's hot, but if you sit in the shade, it's not too bad. Yeah. Totally different feeling. I got so used to sweating, I feel weird now when I'm not sweating. Like I turn on a humidifier in my room at my new apartment because I can't handle the feeling of dryness at this point. It actually turned me being around there too long. That's funny. But I've even had pros ask me about how I do weight cutting, and I've been on the shelf for a while. I'm not a big time fighter. They're professionals. I figured they'd know. But everyone likes to trade. It's like trade secrets. It's like bakers.
Because there's some things like. I was listening to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, I eat this certain food, and it makes me cut weight because of this." And I was just like, "Oh, right, I'm gonna try it." And I have one thing about my coach, because my coach is very knowledgeable, and I respect his opinion. So I'll be like, "Hey, coach, what's my?" And he'd be like, "Don't do that." Right. I'd be like, or people would tell me to drink like distilled water versus that, and he was like, "He'd tell me his way, like, and I'd be like. He's coached UFC fighters, coached everybody, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just listen,
I think with weight cutting, I think it's just like baking in a lot of ways, where just like, and then in a lot of ways, but you know what I mean. It's close to baking in the way that there's some universals you gotta have. There's particular ingredients you gotta use. Like you can't be eating Carl's Jr. every day if you're gonna be doing it. But then you also have to figure out your body.
And what you like, you know what I mean, and what you might hate chicken or something, and this guy might be like, "Oh, I did it with chicken or did it with this."
And I see people like putting themselves through that. Like it's something they hate, but they think they have to do it the one way. And it's like, I hate weight cutting, and it's because they're, like you said, like eating something they hate.
They hate. Just find something else that you can stomach and do it that way.
Yeah, turns out there are multiple types of food.
Other than just chicken and fish, You can do other things.
Personally, I love chicken and fish. So I don't know why people stay away from it.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who
good.
literally hates chicken and fish. Those are the two foods he hates, and I feel like he must just hate the texture, because I guess fish has a lot of flavor to it, but chicken, what the hell's your problem with chicken?
Oh.
There's nothing to it, so it must be some sort of flavor problem, or maybe a chicken attacked him when he was a kid.
He'd probably like someone put him in a room full of chicken.
He's a Muay Thai guy, and he likes to cut weight, and then he won't eat chicken, and so he always has a struggle with it.
Must have some overseas problems.
He's Polish. I just blame it on being Polish, because I don't know anything about Poland, so I like to use that as just, oh, you're Polish? Clearly that's your problem.
Yep. Sporting.
And you got a teammate fighting on the same card, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Montel Williams.
Yep.
Have you been able to train with him?
Yeah, we trained. We actually sparred the other day. Pretty good. We went at it. We hung out. He's great. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
We like him a lot.
You're gonna be in his corner. I believe you're fighting first. So.
Yeah, I'm not. To be honest, I don't even know the schedule. I don't know when I'm fighting or.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's tentative right now. So far, you guys are pretty far apart.
Yeah.
But I imagine you won't be cornering because you might be.
Yeah,
busy at the time, but you'll be out there for sure, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I hope so. Like, I definitely want to see it, you know.
As long as you're not put in jail for your illegal fighting.
Oh, no, I don't do that anymore. That's why I stepped it into the gym and challenge other people to do that.
We got so sidetracked with talking about your stuff that I didn't even talk about a lot of the other guys that are on the card.
I don't know, man.
We got going. See, you're a good guest to have on because you started chatting away as opposed to some people who just go, yep,
yeah,
definitely.
I know, right?
Those are the worst ones.
And then you'll ask another question, and then it'll be like, yeah.
Like, or they'll just say no. They just don't follow up. I try to leave it as open-ended as possible. But we got some people like Cobra Kai, as usual, is going to be out there. I think Cobra Kai.
Great school.
I think Cobra Kai's on a 6-fight win streak right now with their school.
I remember my brother-in-law was training there, and my little nephew, and that was the first time I went to a jiu-jitsu gym. I went there and trained with Sim, and it just took one class, and I ended up and that time I was. I ended up getting put in an armbar, and I picked the dude up over my head. And they're like, no, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to
use some of that strength.
But so I trained with them a little bit for like a couple classes, and then I went over to Excel, and then Mike Florio's on the card. I trained with him a lot,
Although
Excel.
He's fighting Jim Elmer, who is from Syndicate, and Jim Elmer's a little barbarian beast.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a mini Tim Boach. Actually, he's not even really mini. Yeah. It's just another Tim Boach. That's going to be a hell of a fight. I can't wait for that
Which is great because Mike's going to bring it. Like, I know him, and I know his mindset, and he's definitely – but, he loves that kind of stuff, like all of us, like we said, man, we'll beat you up, or if you want to go in there and brawl, if you're going to let us beat us up, let us beat him up, we're going to take it, but if you want to go and brawl, we're going to do that too,
Him and Jim are, I think, a perfect match. It was a good job by Jerry to set that fight up.
Yeah, they're about to.
And Jim, I have a story coming out on Jim on Fight Grind next week.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's so much fun to have. I can't wait for everyone to hear his intro music, by the way. I think he has pound for pound best intro music. We'll see if anyone else agrees with me after the show. But from Cobra Kai, we also have Kyra Batara, who I'm so sad is going to be leaving after this fight and going pro. But, when Invicta calls, I guess you got to leave.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, although she's still got to get past Andrea Martinez, who's coming in. And that's going to be for the 105 title fight, which I believe means Batara will hold the 110 and 105, or 115. I don't know exactly what her other belt is. I can't remember. But 2 belts and then going to Invicta is not bad. But that means we're going to need more ladies to step up and take over.
Come on, ladies, join the gym.
We got to hopefully Tuff-N-Uff will put on an all-ladies show within the coming months.
That'd
because
be cool.
I love the female fights. And
sometimes they be going at it. They really.
Well,
I was at one Tuff-N-Uff event, and like the girls were on, and I was kind of skeptical. I was kind of like, I'll watch it. And the girl had this other girl in the corner of the cage and was teeing off on each other.
Well, you know what? They don't have the ego.
Yeah.
They don't do it. The women's side, at least for now, knows they're never going to get money out of it. So they only do it because they love it or they want to challenge themselves.
Yep.
There's no grandeur of like, I'll make millions and millions of dollars. It's that I just want to do this instead of everything else. And that brings out a certain type of person who's going to always bring it to fight. And so I hope they do an all-ladies card. Hopefully they'll set one up. I know they've done them in the past. But I just love it because those ladies are always just they want to take a head. They want to take someone's head home with them. They're not interested in points. They're not interested in judges talking.
Yeah, I'm sure Tuff-N-Uff will put something together because they've been running a great organization and building up.
They have, and hopefully Shannon Reed will be on the next one. She's from Drysdale. I'm actually going to see her after we get off the air. She's a mean little lady in the best ways. She will mess you up. She's a corrections officer too.
Okay.
She's not scared of a cage.
Okay.
She doesn't give a crap about someone on the other side.
Yeah, but she's used to being around cages and bars.
Exactly. And this is vacation for her. She can go to work with the bruises. That only helps.
She trains under Drysdale too. Drysdale's a great guy. You know, I train at Excel. You know, we train under Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu at the time. You know, so it's he's a awesome coach as well. So
yeah, and she also works at a fight capital for striking. So she's got a nice dynamic base that she's coming in with.
Seems like she's been in the game for a while.
Yes, sir. And she's I'm hoping that she gets the belt. I know I shouldn't hope for that, but the other person's from out of town, so I'm allowed to be a townie.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's all about Las Vegas love and representing for our city.
Exactly. Well, and if Jessica wants to come in, she's from Ohio, but if she wants to come in or give me a call and I can do an interview with her, that's fine too, but I have to be for Reed because she's a townie.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You got to give it to the townies.
Yeah, hopefully we get all the fighters in here to start doing interviews and stuff and start building this community up. You know,
I can only hope.
We had a great thing. I think what you're doing for everybody is awesome to be able to promote people and just kind of help us out and, you know, throughout the organization.
Try to get y'all sponsors. That's what I'm trying to do.
That'd be good. And
so you don't have to start your own.
I know. Hey, man, I got different sponsors, you know, like with the TNG, we got MPM that does a lot with me, that does videos for us, and you know, hopefully he'll be able to video us or the shoot. You know, I got Riot, which is another apparel and makeup line, different things like that. I got, you know, so I got some different things, but it's all little things and stuff like that here and there, helping out people. They help out me, I help out them.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, and I promise once Fight Grind starts actually making some money, which will be almost never, but at some point, if someone ever just randomly hands me $3,000, it's going to the fighters because I'll sponsor whomever.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make sure local fighters are getting some help. Because I remember, I did it. There was no money back then.
Oh yeah. And you know what it is? It's, you know, you get into this sport for, you know, personal goals, you know, and doing it and changing lives and, you know, getting in there and.
Well, and you don't want to see people, at least from my standpoint, I don't want to see anyone disillusioned by it because it's tough.
Yeah.
And it's a tough sport.
Extremely hard. If you're in here to half-ass train and stuff, you're not gonna go very far. I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, those people don't get sponsored. They're barely ever trying. It's usually the people that get it deserve it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I feel like they need to lower that bar. That for whatever reason, sponsors are constantly looking for records and things like that.
Yeah.
And forget that. There's guys like Jamin Tayaba, who is the 125 Tuff-N-Uff champ. He started 0-6.
Yeah.
And then he won 3 in a row, got a belt.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times with sponsorship too, as a fighter, man, like if you're sponsored, you got to start promoting them as well as the business. And I think that a lot of the guys, and I don't know if they're just either lazy or whatever, but they don't understand the marketing side of it.
Well, I think you said it right there. They don't really understand it.
Yeah, you know, they don't understand the marketing as, and if somebody is willing to give you $100, $200, if someone was willing to, you know, pay my one membership, you know, a month or something like that,
even
or
throw you some protein powder,
some shorts, protein powder and stuff like that, like, you know, I'll be putting their stuff up all the time on Facebook, and you do it in a way as well, like. We should host a class of how to promote people.
Well, that's part of why I do this right here, so people get used to talking in front of mics, answering questions, just real simple stuff. Obviously, since you've been here now, I don't grill anybody.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
We just talk it out, and it helps them, you know, verbalize what they're trying to say, gives them a chance to rep their sponsors.
One thing good about this, like with the Tuff-N-Uff organization, they set it up to where, you know, we could kind of see what it's like to be like a mini pro, you know, and they fight into that, and then now doing radio interviews and stuff, like you kind of got a glimpse of like what it's like, you know. And
how much you going to enjoy walking in with a real nice backdrop and a walkway coming up to me? It's almost Pride style.
I'm gonna love it, and that's gonna be like I've only dreamt about that, you know, and the fact that I'm, you know, 3 weeks away from, you know, I used to run on the treadmill just visualizing myself walking in the ring, and you know, I should have a lot of supporters there. You know, a lot of people support me and, you know, love what I do, you know, in the community stuff. So I should have a lot of supporters. So I think it would be nice to even see them, like, because a lot of times a lot of people are a lot of talk, you know. I used to talk. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and do this. And some of them, like, you know, looked at me and they're like, yeah, you know, I think you can. And then some of them like, well, maybe you won't. You know? So it's kind of nice that, you know, they can show up and actually see me doing when I lose, you know, stepping in there.
I always say that 80% of success in this sport is getting into that first fight. Actually doing all the work and showing up and being there. You've just done 80% of the work. A win and a loss. Win is great. Loss kind of hurts, but you already made it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, man, just walking out there is going to be, just walking out alone and getting into the cage is going to, you know, achieve my goal.
Now you just gotta do some dry runs so you can get over the adrenaline dump that happens when you hear your music too loud.
Man,
it hits everybody.
Yeah, I picked this one song and it's just from an underground rapper, you know, that just caught my attention, and you know, I've listened to it so many times. So like all my friends even listen. Like we'll be in the car, I'll be bumping it something, and my brother plays it. Sometimes I'll feel down because I work with my brother too. So he'll like play it over the speakers and stuff, and I'll be like, and he'll be like, you know, you gotta get back in there, you know. And I'm like, all right, man. And so I want
to rep that rapper.
Yeah, his name's Jelly Roll. He's I think he's from Nashville. Yeah, underground rapper, white rapper, you know. But he talks a lot about just life in general. He's more of a lyricist, you know. So you know, I think my next fight I'm gonna have. You know, we're still in the mix. I might even have my team, TNG, and we might have them do music. But they're busy doing their recordings, and you know, his name is A New Day.
Right.
And he's been so busy in the studio that I'm kind of like, like I don't want to bug him. To make me.
I know how it is.
I think but my second fight, like I'll probably end up, you know, coming out to one of his songs. And, you know, he'll be able to put all my sponsors and everything. Because it only seems right to. You know, if I am part of a music label, have
of course, right? Yeah, but, that'd be terrible if you.
But this one song has just been such a big influence in my life. Cool. You know, for the last year, that I think it'd be kind of cool to walk out.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this up. But thank you very much, Seabass, for showing up.
Definitely, man.
Good luck on your fight coming up, and sorry that the weigh-ins happen to be on Thanksgiving.
Oh, no, man.
I know that's rough for everybody.
Last Thanksgiving, I got sick because I was on a diet, and then this Thanksgiving, I'll be sick because of weigh-ins.
Oh, well.
That's cool.
There'll still be leftovers,
right?
Yeah,
definitely. My brother's going to do it on Saturday for me. So
perfect. There you go. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Problem,
thanks to everyone who is listening or will be listening. This has been Fight Grind Radio on the Las Vegas Tribune radio station. Have a good one, and sorry for wasting your time.